Hey, viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist, and welcome to Being Hunted once more. Episode 351 now. So, we are continuing on, of course, with the Turntables Challenge attempt number 2. Previously, we basically, I think, pretty much did every large structure on the South Island. For anyone who's wondering, I'm not counting the big ruined castles, because, as far as I'm aware, I don't think the robots actually really congregate around those. Some people, I don't know, may say I've cheated a bit, I don't know. But we're here now on the West Island. I've basically gone to the next one, and this one is industrial themed. You know, I've always noticed, whenever I sort of customise the biomes in City Being Hunted, I always do them in a particular order. I always make the Centre Island kind of rural themed. Then I always make the North Island mountain themed, because kind of like Highlands in Scotland, Scotland being up to the north. Because obviously, you know, the setting of this game is based on the UK, in essence. So, because, you know, Scotland is in the north, I always make the North Island mountainous, and, you know, Scotland has mountains, it has the Highlands. I always make the South Island rather, into a castle biome, because South of England has a lot of historic sites in that regard. Castles, big stately homes and manors and whatever else have you. So that's always a good one. I always make the East Island into a fens biome, because that's like East Anglia, the East Anglia Fens, and that's of course on England's east coast. And then for the Western biome, I always, the Western Island even, I always make it an industrial themed biome, because, well, kind of like where I grew up in the north of England, northwest of England I should say, because in the northwest there's a lot of post-industrial stuff up there, so, you know, things like the big mill towns of the north and all that. I mean, you know, not just the northwest, but the north of England in general has a lot of industrial stuff, or post-industrial things, gubbins, whatever you want to say. Right, let's try and lure these guys over and ambush them. There we go. There you go. That's it. Come on closer, and boom. Come on over. Well, apparently they can't see me on this wall, which is kind of strange, but oof, wow, you didn't die from that? Well, neither of you died from that, are you kidding me? Come on now. In view, and you need to go as well. Okay, hold on. There's more of them. En route. Back up. We've done the ambush there. We're fine. Okay. So there's a big house off in that direction. There's also a church off over here. Oh, we just need to be careful of those. Hang on, how many are there? There's only 2 of them plus a dog. That's not too bad, is it? Actually, we could probably just let them wander away. Okay, there you go. See? They're wandering off. Well, yeah, that's what I was saying about biomes in this game. For some reason, I always do that with the 5 different islands. I always theme them after particular biomes, all the time. Don't know why, it just feels like it makes sense to me. No, you don't, freaking dog. Get out of here. Go back to where you were before. Come on, piss off. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Okay, right. So, let's just loot these bodies over here and see how we're getting on with this. See, look, bit of shotgun ammo. We won't say no to that. Very good. Man, that trombone's a godsend. Just allows me to trick them into coming closer and closer to me. Damn. Lovely stuff. Right, let's go and locate that church over there. There it is. There's probably going to be people near it, but and again, we can kill them and then hang around until someone shows up, and that'll be fine. Now, in the meantime, as we're heading over here, I do have a topic of conversation actually of interest. So, this isn't actually connected to anything I've been talking about over the last 3 episodes. The thing is, those last 3 episodes, they all are kind of linked, because I was sort of talking about similar things in there. But this episode now, we're going off on a tangent. We're talking about something completely different. So, I was just on YouTube, actually, fairly recently, and something really occurred to me. Something that I haven't watched in a fucking long time. So, for anyone who has been watching the City Being Hunted series really religiously, you know, if you've been around for a while, you might remember a long, long time ago, I can't even remember what episode of Sir this was. I think it was one where Phil joined me, actually, though. I was talking about a web series that I'd started watching, and that was, of course, Rooster Teeth's RWBY, RWBY. And, you know, in that episode, I was talking about how much I kind of had enjoyed it. You know, I'd watched like Volume 1 through 3, and I'd really enjoyed it. I thought it was really interesting overall. But, you know, I was on YouTube again recently, and last time I watched RWBY was, come to think of it, it's got to be at least a couple of years ago. Because I remember I've watched Volume 4, and I did do a Let's Watch of Volume 5 over on my Propagandist channel. If you're interested in seeing that, do so, because it's actually one of the few examples of videos that I've done where I have a face cam. Because of course the thing about Let's Watch is it's basically me reacting to each episode of RWBY Volume 5. Because the beauty of obviously RWBY is Rooster Teeth don't mind people making fan projects of some of their stuff. So if you upload it, obviously usually automatically gets copyright blocked. But if you then appeal it, you can sort of put in, because Rooster Teeth actually has a web page where they have an FAQ, and one of the Qs on that page basically says if you want to use some of our content for a fan project, then you can do so as long as you credit us and you're not monetizing your video or whatever. And using that, if you just send the appeal through, Rooster Teeth will review it, and most of the time they'll just unlock. They'll not completely get rid of all the restrictions on the video, but they'll unblock it. They may monetize your video, but that's not a problem for me because, basically if you ever see a General Ed video that's monetized, that has ads or whatever running on it, that's not me. That's not me who's monetizing it and earning money on it. Usually that's because there is some form of third-party content in the video. So in essence it's been monetized by someone else, automatically by YouTube's content ID algorithm or whatever. But yeah, I remember I did the Let's Watch of RWBY Volume 5. I don't know why I'm just standing here. I should be trying to see if I can lure any robots over, if there are any around. Maybe I should go towards a village or something, I don't know. What about Squire? Maybe we can lure him over? I don't know. Yeah, bam. There we go. But yeah, I said I did my Let's Watch of Volume 5, and then I have to say, I did a Let's Watch as well for the Adam Taurus character short for RWBY, Volume 6, which was obviously at the time hadn't yet been released. But yeah, I remember doing those. But since then, I have not watched any sort of RWBY content on YouTube. In fact, I haven't watched anything, not even the old volumes or anything like that. And it has occurred to me lately that I am super fucking behind on RWBY. Because the thing is, last thing I really did was Volume 5. But since then, there have been more volumes of RWBY that have actually come out. So there's Volume 6, that came out, then Volume 7, and I'm pretty sure Volume 8 is due, if not already being broadcast on YouTube and RT's website. So, Lord, yeah, I'm way behind. Oh, no you don't. Back up. I'm not going to let the fucking Squire kill me. Jesus, I just wasted a load of bloody shotgun ammo on that asshole. Maybe I can do the old trick of circling round him and just killing him. But yeah, I need to get back to RWBY. Oh god, get close, he can't shoot me. That's it. Oh, got him. That's how you do it. I haven't done that trick in quite a while, have I? The old circle round the Squire so he can't quite hit you. But yes, did it that time and it worked. Okay, well that's our ambush for the church over here down. That's good. Instead of me just hanging around like an absolute melon. But yeah, I need to get back to watching RWBY. So, obviously I've got to watch Volume 6, and part of me is wondering, should I do a Let's Watch of it over on Propagandist, maybe? Because the only problem with Let's Watching over on Propagandist is just that those videos do require a bit of editing, a fair bit of editing, because the thing is you have to record the video, the actual video you're watching, and then you have to also record you and your reactions on Facecam, and then in the editing process you have to sort of combine them together and get them to match up, because obviously you'll have your audio from your Facecam of you talking and reacting, and then you'll have the audio and video from the actual episode as you're watching it, and so you have to just sort of make sure you can marry them up, so that way your reactions are in time with what you're actually watching. And like I say, that can require a bit of editing wizardry. I mean, it's not too bad. It's not the hardest thing I've ever edited and put together. It's just a bit time consuming. That's all. Ooh, bloody poachers are now spawning. Okay. Ooh, gosh, sorry, my throat was a bit dry then. Because I have been recording a lot of episodes all at once. Because the thing is, this episode is actually part of a big You're Being Hunted recording session that I've done. The previous 3 were all part of it as well. So yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll do some more RWBY Let's Watches at some point over on Propagandist. I'm not entirely sure. Because that's the thing. Because the only thing was that My Let's Watch of RWBY Volume 5 didn't get huge views, if I'm honest, which is probably actually why I didn't really do a Let's Watch of Volume 6, at least haven't done one yet. It's probably part of the reason, that and the fact that I just completely seem to forget about RWBY for a bit. Oh gosh, wow. Did they just kill the Squire over there? Looks like maybe they did. Oh, wow, did you see that? Fucking another Squire just spawned in, and he just dropped out of the air. God, go back a few seconds and just focus on the sort of right side of the village, just as they shot that original Squire. That was really weird. Don't know what was going on there. But yeah, so RWBY Volume 6, I need to fucking watch that at some point. And I need to sit down and really get up to date with the series. Let's lure these guys over and ambush them. Okay, careful. Right, so yeah, Volume 6, Volume 7 and Volume 8, I need to watch them at some point and just get up to date with them. Got him, there we go, ambush done. Oh, careful of that bloody balloon though. Don't want that being a problem, do we? Eat those, fantastic. Okay, let's, did I investigate the front door? I did, yeah, because there's something missing from it. Right, let's just get my map out and put a point down here, so we know we've technically already been there, and then we'll go and explore this sort of big area up ahead of us. Yeah, so, need to get back on with RWBY and all that. Now, technically I have heard some mixed opinions of Volume 6 of RWBY. Some people apparently don't really like Volume 6. They say that some of the kind of writing in it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But, I don't know, I'm always willing to go in with an open mind and see what it is. I'm not going to sort of set my expectations too high, because I don't like to get involved in like hype trains or anything like that. Because that's the thing about RWBY. I always remember, Volumes 1 to 3, when I watched those for the first time, they felt so good and I really liked it. Even though they weren't amazing, and there were kind of problems with them in terms of things in the design and the writing, which maybe could have been done better. But I do think, overall, that they still were interesting for what they were, right? Good to get rid of these guys who are already here, and then we'll do an ambush by this cottage. But the thing is about RWBY Volumes 1 to 3, they are quite notable, and they were quite memorable overall. And then it got to Volume 4, and I think the problem with RWBY Volume 4 was that Volume 3 had been so fucking intense, particularly towards the end, that I think it was always going to be difficult for Volume 4 of RWBY to kind of live up to expectations. And the thing is also you have to remember is that, of course, by the end of Volume 3, Monty Oom, who was directing RWBY, he died, sadly, which was unfortunate, but thing is, Monty, I don't actually know how to pronounce his name, Monty Oom, however it's pronounced. He'd been quite a creative force behind RWBY, and he'd been most notable for his choreography of things like the fight scenes, because if you watch one of the fight scenes that Monty Oom had really sort of had a big hand in, you'll notice how the fight scenes, it's almost like the characters are dancing and they're fighting in time to the music. And that's kind of what made, I felt, the fight scenes in the first 3 or so volumes of RWBY really just interesting and very smooth flowing and really awesome to watch. But then, of course, after the death of Monty Oom, the fight scenes, in my opinion, got sort of, I don't know, they weren't quite as smooth, at least in Volume 4, that is, and which was a shame, but what can you kind of do? But I remember watching Volume 5, and it did feel like there had been some improvement by the animation team in terms of what they were actually managing to do with the fights. Not in all cases, but certainly in some of them, which was good. And, as long as I think the animators kind of keep practicing and they get better and better, and they keep sort of doing that thing of trying to sort of make the fights kind of flow with the music, stuff like that, as the original RWBY volumes sort of did, then I think, the fight scene shouldn't be too much of a problem in RWBY. So, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, like I said, I need to get back to RWBY. I just need to get up to date with it. And, if that involves doing a Let's Watch over on Propagandist of the more recent volumes, then so be it. Then again, if it doesn't, it doesn't. But the thing is, apart from the obviously the volumes of RWBY, there's also things like, for example, the various character shorts and stuff that they do as well, which might be worth looking into. And then there's freaking RWBY Chibi, technically, which flipping heck, that's basically a spin-off of RWBY where all the characters are in chibi form, and it's meant to be slightly more comic relief, because you need it after some of the freaking intensity of the bloody volumes of RWBY. But yeah, I know some RWBY reactors out there like to do Let's Watches of those as well. Don't know if I necessarily would do those, but who knows. Okay, right, actually, I'm just thinking I need to do an ambush here, but the problem is the bloody landowner is standing over there, which is not what we need. So maybe what I need to do is lure the old guy over here, perhaps, into this forest. And maybe his hunter buddies as well. Bring them out, so that then I can get to the mill, then wait for them all to come back. I can just shoot them. All I need to do is just shoot one of the hunters. That's it. That's all I need to do. Just to get rid of them. Okay. Let's put another one there. So that one will set off. Let's get back over here. Towards the mill. Trouble at the mill, ladies and gentlemen. So whilst they're doing their thing, I think we'll just do the ambush here and then we'll pretty much start wrapping up, I do think. That's what I'm probably going to do. Let me just move some stuff around so I can get dynamite. Like that. Right, so now that I've moved them out, now I can do my ambush like this. Whoosh. Take that dynamite, please. Now that should blow up those guys, which it absolutely did, which is fantastic. There we go. Ambush over here. Complete. I count that as a completion of an ambush, technically, because I haven't blown them up whilst they were standing here by the building. I blew them up over there whilst they were away from the building, and one side was at the building. that makes sense, right? But yes, God, so much dynamite, so little inventory space. Maybe do I need to be carrying all of these bandages? Probably not. Let's do a bit of inventory management here and dump some stuff. Okay, let's see. Can I move things around? Because I'm pretty sure there was another freaking piece of dynamite in... Oh, I think that guy over there's seen me. Okay, fuck it. You know what? Let's not bother with that other one. So we've done our ambush there. We've fulfilled our objectives. I think that is pretty much all the big buildings on this island, just from looking at the map earlier. I do believe. So let's just have a quick look at it now whilst we're here. Yeah, that's the big blob building up there. Oh, God. Not paying attention. I think the alarm on the balloon's having a bit of trouble. Let's keep moving. Yeah, they were all having a bit of trouble, weren't they? They're all shooting at me, no doubt. Well, we don't need to shoot at them, we just need to move and get the hell out. There is a dog on my tail, but that's fine. We can deal with that. Like this, if I spin round, and... Oh, I'm on a rock, that's fine. There we go, got him. He's down. If we stay among these rocks, it'll mess their pathing up a little bit, so they can't follow me too well. Alright, let's get moving. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up here and get back to the jetty, save my game, and that'll be it for the Surrey Being Hunted recording session. And yeah, so obviously in the next episode we'll get onto another island, I do think. So far, doing well at the Turntables Challenge. Attempt 2, that is. Okay, so Facebook and Twitter links down below, along with a link to my propagandist channel as always, which I mentioned before. The channel, that is, not the link. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Let me know in the comments, actually, if you would be interested in seeing Let's Watches of the later RWBY volumes over on Propagandist, potentially. Or if you're not actually bothered about that and I should just watch them in my own time. So yeah, and all that. And don't spoil anything about them, either. Don't spoil anything about the storyline. I know I was talking a bit about how I've seen people say that apparently Volume 6 is not that good, but I don't want people actually spoiling any story details. I'll go watch them and make that judgment for myself. Thank you very much. But yes, other than that, yeah, thank you then, everybody. That's all I really have else to say. Goodbye, all. Come on, keep moving, please. That's there. Got him. Let's get put some cars there so I can get across to where that gold tooth is. That's good. Particle effects causing lag, of course. So yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments, everybody. Because that's the thing about this game, Alice. In many ways, kind of like my Surrey Being Hunted series, these Alice episodes, because you know they typically tend to be quite long, and the gameplay is fairly repetitive at times, with a lot of platforming, solving puzzles, things like that. It's nice to have a bit of a conversation, and turn these episodes almost into kind of like a podcast sort of style, so to speak. So yeah, good stuff. Okay, right, a little bit of a checkpoint here. So what's the deal?